Can your webcam do this? Today I'm coming to you from a mini DV Handycam, a Sony HC26 plugged through Firewire being captured in DV. And the best part of it can do this. Today we're going to be talking with Colin Jeffs. He's an Australian filmmaker that makes a ton of music videos. Literally every time I text the guy, he's like, now I'm shooting this, now I'm editing that, now we're releasing that stuff, now I'm going to shoot that other music video, wait, this band. But he himself, he was playing like in a metal band, so he does have kind of like me a little bit an affinity towards this type of hard music genres, right? The guy's a beast. He's a complete beast. He shoots so many music videos. He has crafted his own methodology and system to create those music videos. The amount of good quality music videos that this guy is putting out on a consistent basis is absolutely bonkers. He just released a new music video called Switchblade, and we're gonna check it out, but we're gonna check it out with him so we can ask questions directly to him. So let's get into it. Hey Colin.
Yo, Matteo, what's up, my man? How are you?
So you just released a new music video, I've heard. I've seen it everywhere.
Yes. A couple of days ago, or was it yesterday? Yeah, no, it's fresh. It's fresh. It's new.
It's fresh. So it's called Switchblade from a band called Diamond Construct.
Yes, correct. Yeah. Australian. I mean, I don't even know what style of music you call it. I don't want to say metalcore because I feel like that just kind of puts it
into...
New metalcore? Sure. If that's what it is, that's what it is. I've been trying to figure out what...
we got you.
I've been trying to figure out what genre they are for a while. People used to call them gent. Back when we started working with them.
Degent, right?
Yeah.
Like gent.
Years ago they were gent, but I don't really think that covers it either. So they are a heavy band from Australia.
So Colin has made this music video, he has directed and edited everything, so let's get into it and break it down a little bit. First we're gonna watch it and have some little reactions and then we break it down. Let's go.
Cool.
Got some drones.
That's it. FPV drones. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Someone said it needs a seizure warning at the start, and I tend to agree with them.
Wow.
Yeah. Bit of movement.
There's a lot of in and going out of stuff, man.
Yeah, someone sort of said the whole video is a transition, and I was like, yeah, I guess so. Another one.
So many transitions.
I mean, I like making these, and I like watching them as well, so that's kind of why it's turned out this way, I suppose.
Yeah, it's a cool 3D track there, man. It's a cool, dope idea. Yeah, I cannot qualify them in any genre, man. This is like...
Yeah, because sometimes you think it's kind of like new metal-ish, and then sometimes you think it's, then it's got like elements, it's got like some hardcore stuff going on, and but I mean, then like at the start, he's kind of doing some kind of Suicide Boys like rapping type verses and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of like distortion and electronic elements on it.
Yeah, and I mean, they've got other tracks that sound just like flat out dubstep as well, so it's genre blending for sure.
That's a cool lens, man.
Yeah, I think there was a 14.
Damn, the cartoons are sick, man.
Yeah. We had an animator.
They're really good. Yeah.
We had a couple of different guys on this. We had like an animator that we got the cartoon stuff from, and then we had like another kind of animator, VFX dude, who did some other stuff in it. And yeah, we had there was a bunch of different touches in this from different people that we'll talk about it. But yeah, everyone killed it.
That's a really cool shot.
Yeah.
I love the sword, man. Yeah. The sword's cool. Damn. Holy shit.
That's
wow.
it.
That's really impressive, man. It's very punchy. It's really okay. So let's go by parts.
Right.
How does a music video like this happen? Let's go first on like general logistics and the process and methodology, as in like how did the band approach you? Have you worked before with them? What's your rapport with them like?
Right. So I have a relationship with this band. I want to say that we've shot maybe 8 music videos together over the years, over, probably, I reckon 6 years I've been working with this band. So we'll shoot usually 1 to 2 music videos per year. So, we've had a relationship. And I guess like in that time, we've built trust with each other. So how this clip sort of came together was...
concept-wise. Like.
Yeah, well, I mean... It was funny, this one. I pretty much just pitched them the whole idea, and it wasn't even like...
So it's your idea then, right?
Yeah.
Adding the cartoons, having the cars like that.
Right, yeah. So like most of this, I want to say, was my creative ideation, and I guess like just aesthetic ideas that I bounced off the band, and then it kind of turned into... oh, what about this? And then what about this? And, kind of the singer sort of gave me, I want to say like a mood board type thing that had a lot of, and this was also following on from the previous music video that had like a lot of Neon Genesis Evangelion kind of stuff in there. It had like some Gundam stuff in there.
Yeah, it reminds me of Evangelion. What else did you say? Which one?
Like Gundam as well with like the mechs.
Yeah.
And like just a lot of that kind of aesthetic, and I was like, cool, I love this kind of stuff. So I just sort of took that in my brain and like bounced it around. I had a bunch of locations that I wanted to try out and that I wanted to use, and I sort of just kept pitching them these ideas like, I have all these CRT televisions, we could have like this retro anime playing on them, that kind of brings it into that world. We can transition in and out of these televisions. I've got like these 2 Teslas, we could like race these Teslas like around this cool sort of parking lot that I had. There were some other sort of like locations in there, the sword.
This parking lot right here.
Yeah. So, and then we were talking about doing drones, and I was like, cool, I've got a drone or whatever. But then a buddy of ours that was actually filming the BTS for it said, drone, my buddy flies FPV drone. And I was like, okay, cool. Let's, talk to him. So we talked to him, and it turned out that he was super talented. And we were like, cool, what can you do? And he said, I can do anything. I can do whatever you want. And I was like, all right, we've got the guy. So, he did like the FPV drone stuff, and that we just kind of kept building up these aesthetics. And then I just took them all into the computer, and honestly, I just cut the absolute shit out of it until I was happy with the way that it moved and the way that it flowed. We obviously weren't really going.
A lot of overlays, like you really like adding a lot of like overlays and having the curtains and like.
Yeah. I mean, that sort of stuff's that's just kind of fun for me. Like I like, I like that kind of stuff. If you've ever seen like, when I was sort of like learning and finding like my style and finding my creative voice, I watched a lot of K-pop music videos because I just love that.
I have a folder of K-pop music videos.
Well, the thing that I love about K-pop videos is that they are all movement. Everything in K-pop music videos is based on
colors, the movement, the motion.
Every single shot, like you'll notice with like a lot of my shots, and in a lot of my music videos, it's always pulling you in. They're always pushing in. They're always pushing in. You're pulling your audience in with that. Everything is always moving in K-pop videos, and the flow and the rhythm, it just makes them so fun to watch and energetic. And not that I film K-pop or dancing or anything like that, but I would like to think that my music videos are forever moving, and they're all based on rhythm, and the cutting and the flow is so important to me. And
there's so much flow to it,
yeah, I want it to be fun to watch. So I'm always just trying to find that balancing point of like rhythm and movement that, you know, keeps your eye constantly moving around the frame, and you're kind of just looking for new things and stuff.
So this is a full-on aesthetics music video, basically.
Yeah, this is just for vibes. It's just for vibes and entertainment.
And it's great because music video, I like, a lot of people always try to find like deep stories to tell in music videos and things like that, and I don't think that's necessarily wrong, or I think that's awesome, but music videos should be showing an artist's performance, right? Like they should get across an artist's vibe.
Right.
As you say, it's for the vibes, right? And you could definitely get the vibes of this band through this music video, like for sure.
I think I think like when I started watching music videos, it was all like Korn music videos or Limp Bizkit.
Which one's your favorite, man? Which one's your
I mean, it's gotta be Freak on a Leash. But I mean, even like you think about, you know, Freak on a Leash still has like a bit of a narrative, like you know, it's just loose. It's this bullet that is traveling through kind of everyday life, right? Yeah. But even like something like, say, for example, Nookie by Limp Bizkit. You know, like one of the coolest music videos of all time. Like, what is the story of that? Like, it's Fred Durst walking down the street. There's a bunch of like women from like the local neighborhood that are like following him. They rock up and then they play to this massive crowd. But you know, when you watch that music video, it's so fun to watch. Like, it doesn't. Yeah, it is. It doesn't really have a huge story. It is just vibey. It's just the vibe, and it's the feel of it, and it's the style of the band, and then it's just entertainment. And I guess like, for me, that's kind of what I'm going for. Like, you know, this doesn't really have a story, but it has kind of like all these moving kind of pieces that kind of mash together and create like an overall like world that this band and that this music is existing in. And you know, I would like to think that it creates
the story of the music of this band, right?
Yeah,
like,
you know,
like that's the story that it's telling.
The riffs kind of sound like, you know, robots, and they kind of sound like they're out of like an anime or something like that. So
like I remember Korn's music video.
Yeah, one of the
like
heaviest.
Jonathan Davis is like on a shower, and he's just like getting like, he's like on a high school shower or something, right? It's not really, nothing's really happening story wise. It's just.
I mean, like they do have like they definitely do touch on like some, like there was the Falling Away From Me one where it's like Korn's in the music box. But I mean, like, even then, it's, you know, her dad's banging on the door, this little girl in the room, and then Korn's in the music box, and then they just sort of like pop out. Like, it's not like a movie or anything like that, but it's just enough for you to chew on and go, sick, Korn playing in a little girl's bedroom. That's dope.
All right, Freak on a Leash. Not a bad pick, but I'm a big fan of Clown. I really like Clown.
Yeah, Clown's the one.
Or what is it? Shoots and Ladders?
Yeah, that's another old one. That's an oldie.
I like the colors of those old music videos, man. They're very green and very blue and really highly saturated. They're like slightly odd for the.
All of my stuff's blue, man. I just all of my shadows are blue. My color grading is it's totally up the shit, bro.
I love blue color grading personally, man. I think
I've got colorists message me all the time, and they're like, "Yo, we want to help you. You whack." And I'm like, we'll just keep going.
Really?
We'll just
you
keep
actually
going.
got this cut?
Dude, I've got a few colorists that message me, and they're like, "Hey, can we color grade your stuff?" And I was like, "Bro, if I could afford to pay you to color grade my stuff, I absolutely would." But you know,
I like to afford so many different people to do so many different things, man.
If I could afford people, I would afford people. But right now, this works.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's like break down a little bit more on like a little technical level, but like let's just like, for example, like camera setups. So
sure.
The drones. Let's start with the drones because they're like really interesting. Just at
right.
first.
Right.
Is it a Whoop drone, like the mini Whoop? You know what I mean, right? Like the really
yeah, I know.
Or is it like a big full-sized FPV?
No. It was a mini. It was a mini carrying a GoPro. Yeah. So I don't know what breed of GoPro.
That's a GoPro.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's a newer GoPro. But yeah, that's all the drone footage is just on like a GoPro. So
yeah, now that you say, I can tell the GoPro, but man, it looks alright.
I think I've added to the drone shots. I've definitely added some motion blur and I've also added a lot of glow to these shots as well. And if you look at it, like I'm pretty sure the GoPro is just filming 8-bit, so obviously this color is like massively pushed. We were shooting them in, you know, the GoPro log format, whatever. What's that called?
Yeah.
What do they call that log format of GoPros?
G-log.
Yeah, something. Yeah, G-log. Something. So whatever the GoPro log format is.
Yeah,
but obviously, you know, like the GoPro footage was, you know, it's not great, but obviously how quickly it moves and just the look and feel of it. You add some motion blur. I've just completely, obviously, desaturated it, added glow, added you know, completely like color graded the shit out of it, because all the GoPro footage it came out, dude, everything was like orange. Like, you know, the GoPro's just when I got it back,
orange.
Yeah, everything was orange, bro. Like the raw
it held up pretty well, man.
Yeah, the raw footage is
there's no blotchiness. Like, for example, this area here, or all of these like gradients and stuff, you would expect some blotching if you tell me this is orange.
Yeah, there definitely is some blotching here and there that I noticed, but again, once you put like blur on it and you know, all of that kind of stuff, it just everything sort of like blends together, and it doesn't end up being like as big a deal.
And once you apply like a general color grade over the whole thing, that brings everything up because of consistency, right? It kind of like balances out all of those little, especially with 3D, this is something very commonly used, as in like grain, you know? Like you'll denoise your camera footage, you have a super clean 3D output render, and then you apply a consistent layer of grain across the whole thing. So this way, when you're watching it on a screen, it really feels like it came from the same camera, even though one thing's 3D, the other one's from a camera or whatever.
Yeah, 100%. I think one of the some of the best advice that was ever given to me when I was starting, you know, because when I was starting, I was like, I want my footage to be clean, you know, I'm like, I want it to be clean, I want it to be sharp, I want, you know, be able to see all that kind of stuff. And I was like, what do I do with noisy footage? And I was talking to a buddy of mine, and I was like, you know, what do I do with this noisy footage? And he was like, honestly, bro, I just add more noise to it. I just make it dirtier and I just lean into that. And I mean, if you watch any of my music videos, that obviously had a pretty big effect on me, because now everything that I do, I'm trying to find different ways to make it dirtier and jankier. So
and this is one of the reasons why, like, when people's like, oh, this camera's like really clean and sharp or whatever, I'm like, but I mean, it's so much more, there's so much more to that than just like sharpness or something, you know, like a texture is very important.
I love seeing a great, clean, sharp image. I love seeing that kind of thing. But it's just not. But it's also stuff like this, you know, like including all of these like overlays that you have here, like these like little dots here. There's like a bunch of lot of different things going on here at the same time. But it's all about creating that texture, you know, that like almost like 3D effect, almost, you know, like the image is like kind of like popping out. Just like here, for example, there's like very subtle. All of these are overlays here. Yeah, so like most of my stuff that I would like to say how a lot of this stuff kind of gets made, I just refer to it as happy accidents. So I'll probably, with my timeline's always messy, and I'll always have like these layers kind of like piled up and piled up and piled up. And then I'll just start messing with blending modes, and then I'll start messing with tint and colors. And
how do you do this one? Like this red?
This red, I'm pretty sure this is just a tint. And then it's probably like nested, and then it's had grain, and then
shadow tint.
Another tint put on it. It'd just be like a bunch of like Premiere, like just out of the box like layers, just like put up until I can just dirty it up as much as I would like. So like tint, curves, noise, all that kind of stuff.
What's going on here with this red light? What was that?
Yeah, so the red light, that was just out the back of like this little storage room here, and that's just got a gobo in it. If you know like a gobo, it's just basically like cast a shape, and that was just kind of shooting around some of those TVs and some shelving units and stuff like that. I'm always using like gobos just to create like lighting texture. Everyone likes to see light rays. Everyone likes to see, you know, that kind of thing.
They create depth on the scene. Like they're actually giving you an indication of the depth, right? Because they're putting they're really separating the elements.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean, like that light was.
This is very obviously in the foreground of this, and then the wall here looks very far from this and this, right? So it's kind of like really creating depth.
Yeah, always layers, and it's always like, even if you're in a small room like this, just trying to create, like, how many layers can I create in this very small space, you know, like, what have I got here? I've got some foreground elements, I've got my midground here, and then I've got some background. How can I backlight that? Like, I'm just gonna backlight, this is exactly the same thing. Like, all of my shots are like, essentially like the same thing, where I'm just looking for texture, I'm looking for how to exaggerate the depth with whatever room I've got. This is literally shot in the boys' lounge room where they live. And I was like, we're gonna make it green, we're gonna have a sword, we're gonna sit around, I'm gonna shoot like a laser through that window, that's our shot. So
that light looks insane, man, like this red light here. Wow.
Yeah. Bro, cheap lights, man. Cheap, small lights. That's a 60-watt light. Like, cheap, small lights. It's just how you use them, and how you kind of just use them to create, you know, just different looks and different vibes and stuff. Because I feel like this is a vibey look. Was literally shot in their lounge room with 2 lights. Cost us absolutely no money. So
so what's the camera setup here? Like, what's your, but let's talk a little bit on like camera setups, because I one thing I noticed on your music videos is that you have you really like going handheld quite often. You do have a lot of like gimbal stuff as well, I know that, but I can see you most of, like, a lot of the times, like me too, that's what I'm saying, and it's not something that I find that common anymore. Like, holding the camera with your own hands on like a really well set up rig with handles, right? And you're just like trying to shoot like this. I see you doing that a lot, and most of this music video I can tell that it's done like that, apart from a bunch of drone shots. I don't know if you have like a tripod or a few gimbal shots here and there, right?
I feel like there's a couple of gimbal shots here and there, but no, you're right. Like,
break down a little bit your logic behind this, man. Like,
I think that, like, I just love movement that I guess reacts with my subject. So, you know, all of my music videos, and this is no exception, sort of my handheld movement is always just exaggerating my subject's movement. So if my subject's, you know, moving forward or side to side, or if my subject's dancing, or however my subject is moving, my camera is always just reacting to their movement.
You really like motion.
Yeah, so it just comes in.
Motion,
it just comes back to rhythm. So like, if my subject's dancing, my camera is going to dance with them. You know, it's going to react to their rhythm, and that's when you know, if all of your shots are sort of reacting to a rhythm of your subject, all of your sequences kind of like just move together really well, because they're all reactive to the same movement. Because even if people say, oh, you know, I don't dance, you know, I'm not going to dance, like, that's fine, but you are still going to react to music. If you're a musician or if you're a performer, you're still reacting to music in some way.
You want to capture that reaction, you want to get the motion of it going.
Yeah,
there's many ways to do that, but that's the exact same reason that I like shooting. I don't want to call it handheld, because handheld is kind of like commonly understood, kind of like that. You're just holding the camera like this. No, we're talking about like holding it with like rigs and stuff. Maybe like a shoulder mount. I'm talking about like body mounting, like mounting the camera on your body, right? Yeah. And I see a lot of people with like really trying to hunt for that perfect shot, you know, like that perfectly smooth shot, that dolly shot, that gimbal shot or something, you know, like, and I think that a lot of times when you try too hard to get that shot looking exactly perfect, you're going to be losing from the performance of the artist, just because they've been doing the same thing so many times. They might not be feeling it, right? So one of the advantages that I find, as in shooting on pretty much the same style that you like to shoot, is that it's so much more reactive for the artist and me, as in like communicate with each other and like actually get the shots that we need. You know what I mean? Rather than me attempting something and they're like, hey bro, let's go again, and then me attempting the same thing again, not getting it just right. Kind of like if it was like a product commercial or something like that, that you have to get the shot looking exactly perfect, focus point, everything. That movement has to be smooth. If the dolly gets a bit stuck, gimbals might go like that, gimbals might twitch or some shit happens, right? And having to ask the person to do stuff over and over, or I don't know, it kind of like, it breaks that dynamic that you can create when you just flow and you just keep going, right? And you don't turn off your camera in shoots most of the time, do you? I mean,
no, well, like my camera just
not that.
I mean, like usually because I'm just running like big V mounts, I just leave it on. Like it's powered on the whole day.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like you stop for like when you're done with the scene and then like build up an entire other thing, just because your setup is so quick to set up. I'm sure like it's mostly more like go to location, set up lights, set up the blocking of the guys, the artists or whatever, right?
Yep.
And then your own camera setup time is extremely low, isn't it?
Yeah. Usually I'll usually have like one camera that I'm running on a gimbal and then one camera that I'm just running handheld. Because
so you're using two bodies.
You know, what's that? Sorry. Two bodies,
you're shooting on two bodies. Oh wow, I thought. Okay.
So I mean, it's time and a place. Like definitely, like some clips that I film definitely have like more gimbal kind of vibes and more smooth kind of vibes. But if I had my pick, I definitely would prefer to shoot handheld because I like
but I mean specifically this music video. Like we're talking about like the artistic choices on this music video. I mean, of course it depends on music or whatever.
This music video was just my.
This has to be like
it was just
insanity.
My baby.
Like,
it was just my baby. So I was like, and I sort of said to the band, I was like, I got creative control of this one. Like I'm making this one, and because like we have that relationship, they were like, do whatever the fuck you want. So. That's the best, man. That's why it ended up this way.
That's the best, yeah. That's the best. You didn't tell me what camera is it, what lens setup is it. Like, there's a bunch of really cool lenses, especially there's a wide angle that got my attention, man.
Yeah, so
what is this?
Dude, this wide angle lens is actually a 14mm G Master lens, Sony G Master lens. It's a 1.8, and it has autofocus. So I bought this lens.
Is this wide open?
Yeah, wide open, right?
You got the
I want to say that, I know, that's the thing, it's like, it's a 1.8, I mean, it's obviously a 14mm, so it's not going to give you that kind of insane blur, but it can give you a bit of like, it can give you a bit of separation. For this clip, I used a lot of wide angle stuff because I wanted it to have a little bit more of like a hip hop aesthetic and a little bit more like some sort of like hip hop vibes and some of that kind of stuff in there, which I always just feel like wider lenses are kind of doing that.
This is a very hip hop shot right here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Like just the train, like the subway system, like classic kind of vibes.
The subway, you just got to take a subway ticket. You went in there and you shot. Right.
Dude, honestly, we bought subway tickets. We bought subway tickets. We waited for the train. Like literally, man, it's as simple as it looks. Like we bought tickets, we waited for the train, we walked in, we shot it, we had the song playing, I think on like a mobile phone or like a UE boom or something that was in my backpack. I sort of said, cool, this cart's empty, walk along, perform to me, and then, we finish at the end of the cart, and then I'm going to do like a doors closed transition. I reckon we did it like 2 times, and I was like,
the door close transition is
so so I sort of like, I animated that whole thing. Like I cut those doors out. Those doors were like cut out from a Google image, and I just keyframed them to close on that shot. So just janky.
Oh my!
Is it like 3 frames? It's like how many frames is it when they close? I think they close in like 3 frames. Oh, I animated the window. So what is it like?
Starts to close here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So even this window here. So this here.
14, 15 frames.
So that frame, that's a window, a subway train window that I cut out and made black, where it pushes through that little window section. And then this is obviously the next shot, which is some stock footage of a subway, because
the thing is that you know what works about it, man. Like so. If you watch it just like this, you go like, wait, like tracking, whatever. The thing is that because the shot previous to it, the camera's already like going side to side like that, and then it goes out, and it's kind of like going a little bit to the left, going a little bit to the right, and he's like pulling. It's got like a little wiggle to it.
It wobbles,
that makes it work.
It
makes it work, and it gives it more power and intensity rather than if it was like a perfect just.
If it was super smooth, I don't really do like a lot of those smooth kind of things, because it's like none of my footage is smooth, all of my footage bounces, so it's like, well, the transitions have got to bounce as well, right?
Yeah, everything's got to be bouncy and stuff, man. Just what I'm really impressed about, man, is like the lighting.
The light,
it looks sick. It looks
it's glow,
really good.
bro. It's glow.
You got a vignette here, right?
It's there's a bit of a vignette there.
You got some vignette here, yeah.
But this has just got glow on it, so to make those lights on the top just pop, look like they're a bit more exciting than what they actually were. And then obviously colored.
Sony
like
FX6,
down.
Right?
FX6, yeah.
FX6, yeah. What did you love so much about it? Like you love the Sony's
You know what?
FX6,
that shot, that train shot was actually on the A7S3 because I didn't want to have a big camera.
Oh, you're using an A7. Oh, this shot. Okay.
So that was actually, but most of it will be FX6, and any of the other little bits and pieces are probably like A7, A7S.
And for the nerds, you're shooting codecs.
I mean, it's not that I love anything particular about it. It's just those cameras for me are just easy and fast. You know, I can lean on the autofocus. I can lean on the low light.
Sony autofocus is a mind beep. Like,
it's really
good. Yeah, it's really good. I was impressed by it, man. Like, we got a shot of a vocalist, and he's like on the mic going like that. He's like bouncing his head back and forth, right?
And it's
kind of like a bit of a 60mm, kind of like close enough to like for it to go in and out of focus, right? And I was just kind of like trying to get the focus points and just try to like brute force it by hand, you know. And then my friend's like, just look at my FX3. Just look at it, you know. And he pops the Sony lens, whatever, turns on the autofocus, gets the face tracking on. That thing was stuck on the head of that man.
It's rock solid.
That was unbelievable, man. The guy was like just banging his head, you know, head banging like crazy, and the focus is just just following it perfect, like precision, man. Yeah, and that was
definitely fast, like.
So the FX6 has all the same benefits as the FX3 when it's the autofocus. It's the same system, right?
Yeah, same thing. I feel like the FX6 has got something a little special going on, something a little extra happening in there. I'm not 100% certain what that is, but I definitely get a better look out of the bigger body than I do out of the smaller ones.
Right.
But we just use these cameras because, you know, I'm usually using a really small crew, and I just don't have the luxury to be able to repeat multiple shots constantly, try to nail, you know, focus, try to use, you know, cinema lenses, manual focus, like all that sort of stuff. I would love to have those luxuries, but when you're working on a budget, you're trying to maximize the profit that you can make from the job. Obviously, having a smaller crew is going to do that. And if I have a smaller crew, having cameras faster. That are fast, if I can move fast, I can just get more done. Yeah. So imagine trying to film this whole clip with like manual lenses, like bro.
I mean, that's all I've got, so I would have to have done it that way.
You'd be there for days, bro. You'd be there for days.
I'm good with manual lenses. I'm up for the challenge.
For sure. I would. Bro, if the person that can film this whole clip with manual lenses in like a couple of days, bro, send him my way. He's got a job.
You have a job for me, man. All my lenses are manual. I've got my fingers well trained, man. I'm really good at like using like I've got to know my lenses. I'll be honest with you though. I do practice a lot.
Yeah.
I do go take pictures a lot just to get my hands used to see where the focus points are.
Yeah, and I think it's when you're using the same.
You know?
When you're using the same manual lenses all the time, I think you get like really fast with them. We used to shoot before.
I don't have to look at the lens. I don't have to look that much to know where the focus is going to be. And also like different lenses, especially with like human faces, something that many people might not realize, but like, oh, let's get like a really fast lens or something. Thing is, you might focus on the nose, on the eyes, or the ears, you know, like. And
you won't know until you look at it on the computer.
Screen, you don't really know, but then you blow that up on a big screen, and if it's like a commercial or something like that, where that thing has to be in critical focus, right? That becomes a problem. And that's where the Sony's doing. Yeah. All right, so let's move on. What is this? This is a drone shot, isn't it?
No. So this is
a 3D scan.
This is a 3D scan. Yeah. So. This is a 3D scan, just with a mobile phone, just a mobile telephone, 3D scanned him and imported him into a program, and then you can just keyframe how you want it to move around. Obviously, it's janky. Like I feel like it was like a 1080p.
Wait. So you 3D scan this on your phone app, and then you keyframe inside the phone app, and then you export that as a video.
That's
phone
it.
app exports it.
That's it.
Wow.
That's it. That's exactly exactly what that is, and then that's just put on Dropbox, and then it's
3D scanning is fun. It's something I've been definitely dabbling quite a bit into.
And, I mean, it's definitely like I'm just using it for fun. You know, I'm not like obviously like those 3D scans are not what I would say high quality, but they're just part of like a look and an aesthetic and a feel. And you know, when you kind of see them, you're just kind of like, oh, cool, that looks like a PlayStation 2 game. Like that's mine.
Nice. And what is this lens? That's a 24, 30-ish?
Nah, I want to say that's either like a 14 or a 12.
That's a very wide angle, is it? Oh, yeah. Right.
That might even be like a 12 on a crop body. I might have had that on an FX 30, I want to say, maybe, like a Sony FX30.
Yeah, it looks like a 20 to 30 mils, something like that.
Yeah,
Less
yeah.
than 30 for sure.
Something like that. Just a couple of quick like car shots. We had a car rig. You had
it rigged on a car here.
What's that, sorry?
That's rigged on the car here.
Yeah, it's rigged on the car. Yeah, I just added
But it's moving though.
I just added the motion. Just added the motion in post. But yeah, that would have been.
He's not getting motion on the footage. He's gonna get it in post.
Yeah.
There's gonna be motion with you, man.
That's it. Yeah, everything, bro. Everything. Everything's gonna move.
I would have not thought about that. Like, this is something I would have personally not done. Yeah. No, I mean, I love it. I would have just not thought about it. Right?
I'm not always doing it. Like a lot of the time, if I'm doing car shots, I'll keep them just like locked on and keep them smooth. But for that shot, I think it was coming out of a really bouncy, like movement heavy shot, and I was like, I just feel stale if it doesn't just bounce a little bit. So,
right. And all right, let's move on a few more things. This is a Google Maps 3D export.
Yes, that's
probably,
exactly
right. Yeah, I've been messing with those. That's what
that is.
Yeah,
dude, it's a pain in the ass to use. This is actually 2 shots. I feel, because actually keyframing it is, if anyone's done it, it's.
I've done it.
It's a pain in the ass, man. It's not fun to do.
So the thing is that the way you download the city map and the amount of detail that you get per building. And the materials and textures and all of that, you really gotta control that. Yeah. Because if not, as you say, it's impossible. And this right here is your wide angle again, right?
Yeah. That looks like a 14. I think that looks like a 14. Yeah.
Am I wrong? Is there like a 360 camera here somewhere?
No, this is actually a cheap AliExpress fisheye. So I want to say that's $100. I want to say that's $100.
Is it like one of these?
Like, let me see. I reckon I've got it.
Like one of these, you mean? Yeah.
It's this.
Like a fisheye adapter.
It's this lens. Right here. Will that focus?
Wait, but is this like a full lens, or is that something you pop on the
front?
Oh,
you can't see it. I'm showing the wrong camera, but it's no.
Because you got different types of fisheyes. You got like fisheyes that you could just put in front of a lens, like this one right here, which would go like.
No, not an adapter. No, it's a proper lens. Like it's got. It's like
a proper lens, yeah.
Yeah, it's got like a proper lens mount on the back there.
Show it on the A7. Yeah.
But yeah, that's just that's like $100 lens from AliExpress. I guess
chromatic aberration is all over the place.
It's not a quality lens by any stretch, but
it looks sharp enough here, man. With the filter and stuff.
Look, like it gives you that. If you want like that circular fisheye look, like it's a.
No, but I mean, it's not like it's complete crap. If you're gonna use it with filters and stuff like that, it's totally useful.
Yeah. Completely, and like all of my stuff is kind of filtered.
This comes to prove that the quality of the equipment only matters that much, like.
Oh yeah, it's all just the creative ideation, man. It's all like
down to.
You give someone who's got like an idea of what they want to do. You give them a shit camera, and one light, and they'll give you gold.
I mean, this is a cool track shot. This one's a really, really cool idea, actually. I love the idea of tracking.
So I've got to give credit to my dude, Dead End Visuals. He actually did that track for me. So I did the 3D scan just with a mobile phone.
Wait, hold on. That's a 3D scan?
Yeah. So that's a 3D scan.
What? I thought this was a drone shot.
No,
I was super convinced this was just a drone shot, man. What?
That's good.
Damn.
Yeah, how this is
you completely tricked me here.
This is a 3D scan again, where I just got the band to stand there. I 3D scanned them with my mobile phone, uploaded it to my app, and then I just basically keyframed the spin, keyframed the movement around it. Yeah. I sent that to my guy, Dead End Visuals, and he added the wireframe, just like red wireframe, and then I've taken that, and then I've added that into the television and da.
So don't forget to send me links to all these people. We'll put them in the description. And
for sure. Dead End made this, and he also made the little ship with the minigun that fires the rocket with the pedal board and stuff.
Later we might see it on the music video.
Later on.
These are a bunch of really cool overlays here, man. Like the aesthetics, they just work, in the red.
Yeah,
this is such a cool shot here, man. I love
it. We had some red lights and stuff going, so it just ended up being like a red and blue clip. Yeah. So this is something else that the Dead End made for me. I sort of sent him some.
That's the same guy, yeah.
Yeah, same guy.
That's full 3D here. That's a green screen, is it?
Yeah. So how we made this was I filmed Braden, the guitar player, on a green screen, and I filmed his pedal board that you'll see in the next shot on the green screen, which is sitting in the cockpit of the plane. I found some 3D assets of the actual planes. Here. So he's basically controlling the spaceship with his pedal board. I don't know, like I don't know, man. He's got his pedal board. In the spaceship.
I kind of saw it. It was just so quick. I did not realize. Oh, yeah, that's cool, though.
It is quick.
That's cool, man. Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, he's sort of controlling the spacecraft with his pedal board. He's pushing the whammy down and firing rockets and shooting miniguns and stuff like that. You know, it's kind of like an in-joke, I suppose. Like, you know, Braden does like a lot of pedal board kind of shit.
Yeah, I can tell. Like, so, if you like metal music.
Yeah. So I guess that was, you know, just something that we thought would be funny because everything that he does with his pedal board is so extreme. We're like, he's got to be shooting rockets with his pedal board. So that's that's kind of like part of that. But yeah, Dead End, he sort of like made the, you know, all this kind of stuff happen. I just basically sent him files. I sent him the green screen stuff. I sent him the 3D scan, the 3D file, and he kind of composited it all together, made all this, you know, all this kind of stuff, which he's a talented dude. We've got more work coming up together because he's got the sauce, and that's what we're looking for.
What is this?
What is
this, Colin? Like, what is this amazing? What is this is crazy. This is really good, man. Like, it's like full on Gundam and full on anime quality here.
Well, it's actually Macross. So you might not remember it, depending on how old you are. But Macross was, I want to say it's around the same time as Gundam, but it's like, you know, it's like early 80s. Like, obviously super big in Japan. I mean, I'm 37 years old, so I remember in Australia, we had Robotech, which was a company bought the animation and kind of did their own thing with it and translated to English. But Macross was the traditional, you know, kind of like Japanese animation with like these transforming, you know, mechs. So I actually found an animator, not this particular shot, but the next shot with the robots kind of transforming and stuff like that. Yeah, so I've actually found an animator that he calls himself 87 Render, and he had kind of like a fan-made film where he like kind of animates all this sort of stuff together, and we licensed to use like his original animation work in this in this thing, because, you know, we sort of contacted him and I was like, you know, we want to get this custom animation done, and he was like, yeah, I'm $10,000 US for like 2 minutes of animation. So obviously,
sounds fair, man. This is super complicated stuff.
Of course, that's fair. I'd love to be able to pay somebody that sort of money, but you know, we just didn't have that sort of money to spend. And I said, that's totally cool, man, like 100%. And he kind of said, hey, you know, I've got this. You know, I've got this that I've made. You're welcome to use this. Obviously, you know, if you pay me to use this in your music video, use whatever you want. And we were like, bro, this is sick. Like, this is...
It is quite literally their concept, isn't it?
Yeah, this is exactly what we want. So that was just kind of, again, you know, it was just like a happy accident. And it was just through like networking, talking to people, asking the question, you know, that kind of thing, that you sort of find these people that are, you know, are sort of like happy to kind of like be involved and that kind of thing.
So this was done before the music video was done, basically, all of the animations,
Yeah, so he makes all of this stuff in Blender. He does heaps of stuff with like Transformers. He has like heaps of like fan-made kind of artwork and stuff that he does, I guess just for the love of it.
I was going to say, because this looks like a 3D geometry, however, like the filter, this is Blender, you show,
exactly.
The filter, the stroke and stuff like that.
Yeah, and like the shadowing.
Really like, tight, man.
It's like anime. Yeah. So that's what he does. He's like, he makes it all like 3D in Blender, and then he has like this.
Just really quickly, people will get lost otherwise. We're talking about like in anime, you don't have gradients of shadows. You have like straight lines like this here, right? Like you see this line right here. This is shadow. This is not in the shadow. Rather than like in real life, where you could see like a very clear gradient on shadows. You know. Like,
just that old school animation aesthetic, which, you know, he
almost
definitely...
like a draft, you know. I guess it's like
it is.
I'm amazed how wonky it gets. I don't know if this might be some kind of like really cool filter he has going on here.
Yeah, but he killed it, and we sort of just asked the question, and he was like, "Yo, I'm here for it." So it was the same as Dead End. When I approached him, you know, I said, "This is what we want to do," and he was like, I'm in. So FPV drone guy was the same thing. I said, can you follow these cars as these guys kind of like race these cars around this place?
Easy,
and he was just like, yeah, easy, man. I can do this. And I was like,
yeah,
bro.
like a drone guy, you want to ask him, like, can you go through this hole at like max speed? And then he'll be like,
no, this, and I've worked with FPV drone guys in the past, and some of them are cool, and some of them have a huge cry about asking them to do anything. But this guy was like, I can do anything. Like, what do you want? And I was like, this is my dude. This is my dude.
Yeah, like I had a really good friend that unfortunately we lost 2 years ago. But like, man, he was one of the really greatest drone pilots in this country, man. He was crazy. Like, yeah, like in less than a year, the guy went from like hardly being able to fly a drone to like go through holes at top speed and just like flips and stuff.
It's just that passion, man. You love something. It's just that passion. It just consumes you, and you just wanna get good and just do it full on.
Is there some? That's the 360 camera.
360 cam, yeah, a little bit of 360 camera in this.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I saw 360 camera somewhere, but I was getting slightly confused. So, I love this shot right here.
Yeah,
that's the drone shot.
See, this is a janky. So this shot here, like if you actually look, that's just a blending mode. So I've just got that, like the pull out from Google Earth, and I've got that on a blending mode. So it goes from a drone shot to the Google shot, and then this is a blending mode where the jets come in. They're just overlaid in that image to like. What's
the fantastic? Okay, so something about this music video, and is that like these things right here, like you see here's like kind of like. The frames are not going exactly as the way they should think. The thing is that anime doesn't either. Anime is 12 FPS too, right?
Yeah,
so if you're gonna be mixing anime and like live footage, this is something that you kind of wanna be doing. Otherwise, it would just not connect. And I think one of the reasons why the anime fits really well in this music video is to that exactly,
Yeah,
like,
well,
man,
I mean,
it's fantastic.
Anime from time to time tends to be pretty janky within itself as well. So a lot of stuff's just like not drawn or like not animated. It's just like it's almost your brain just puts together the frames that are missing. Like
one more question. Like I can see that this shot, and then you've got some like B-roll right here, right?
Right.
So this is the same location, right? I'm guessing. What do you shoot first?
No,
B-roll?
No. This was actually another location. We shot this in the Mercedes-Benz car park. So we, we kind of snuck in there. Like, it's not that it's illegal or anything like that. It's just a car park. But we went there at nighttime, and there was like a roller door down. But there's like businesses and like there's like a gym and like stuff in there. And so we kind of just waited, and as cars were coming out, the roller door came up, and we drove our Teslas in there and kind of just filmed in there for probably like an hour and a half. No one said shit. Like, it's just a car park. But so
but like, and these kinds of shots are those shots like you plan, like this B-roll little cut here, or like this kind of blurry.
Yeah, we call this like steez shots. So like Diamond Construct.
What?
We call it steez. The steezing, right? Like it's a Diamond Construct word, bro. I don't really know what it means. I feel like it means like style or like some. I feel like it's something like that. But we just call them affectionately steez shots. It's like we need to get the steez shots, right? So this kind of shit. All of their kind of like fuckboy internet shit that they kind of do that, me as a 37-year-old dude, I don't really get, but, I love capturing it and I love putting it in because, man, it gets people triggered on the internet.
This guy, a fuckboy.
Yeah, it gets people so triggered. He's actually not. They're actually lovely boys. But I guess the aesthetic that we're going for, a lot of people, on their YouTube comments get like, oh, these guys are fuckboys, like these guys are this, these guys are this. Justin Bieber,
this is what makes music fun, man. Like it's fun to have variety and like. Limp Bizkit. I don't want to be like Fred Durst.
Yeah.
But I love the guy, man.
Yeah, I mean, Fred Durst is definitely a fuckboy. Let's be real.
Oh hell yeah! You know what I mean?
I always say to my bands and like the performers that I'm working with, I'm always like, be the most exaggerated version of yourself. Like if I'm getting close-ups of your mouth, like enunciate all your words, exaggerate all your words, like exaggerate your movements, like move in an extreme way, because that's what is going to be better for an audience. That's what's going to be more entertaining for us as viewers.
Right.
you know, that's kind of like what we want. So that's exactly what we do with DC. We just do like a really exaggerated version of those guys. Like, you know, they're not walking around the streets wearing, you know, these reflective like jackets and stuff like that. And they're not driving fucking Teslas and like hanging out of cars and like doing this shit when they're like on their way to work. But it's like when we get into like the DC mode and when we get into the DC world, it's like we're going to be this really, really extreme version of like, you know, these people, and you know, we're going to make it as entertaining as we possibly can, because that's what we like watching.
Yeah. Yeah, just crouch down and point to the camera or something.
Yeah, that's it.
All he needs to do, yeah. Wow, man, that's fantastic. I think that's a good moment to probably wrap it.
It's so cool. Mad.
All right, so don't forget to check out Colin Jesse, Instagram channel.
Yeah. I don't have a YouTube channel. Maybe one day, but yeah, I think.
Do you have an IMDb?
Do I?
IMDb.
I have one.
Do you have one? Do you?
I don't know.
Because there's a new section called music video.
No way, really? Well, I should get one.
Yeah.
I definitely should get one.
Yeah, you just input the titles. I'll give you the link later in a bit. You just input the titles and the artists play as characters as themselves, right?
Wow. Okay, cool. That's sick.
Yep.
I'll look into it.
I think that would be such a good place for you to have like such a massive recollection, because there's a special thing that nobody's really getting out of this dude right here, is that how many music videos you made last year?
Oh, bro, you really want to know? Dude, last year was a small year, and I reckon that we shot 47, 48 music videos last year. Bro, the year before we did 60. So I'm not talking like little like one take, like, you know, SoundCloud rapper music
How do you
videos.
do this? How does this happen?
I don't sleep, and
my balls was hot. I understand.
Yeah, I'm a lunatic, man. Honestly, I got it on the brain. I got like some sort of ADD going on. All I do is shoot and edit, bro.
60.
Dude, we've shot, in the past.
I'm just messing with the Zoom
years. In the past 6 years, we've shot 260 odd music videos of this style, of this caliber. So like that is all.
Mostly live action and overlays and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, like I would say, obviously this is on
the logistics behind it, man. Finding locations, pitching ideas. How don't you get lost with so many different bands and sounds and ideas and like?
I mean,
you know?
I guess I did at the start, and then I just I kind of like unlocked a new kind of like just brain function that just kept going, and now it's just easy for me, man. Like if a band says we want to do a clip with fire, I just instantly have an idea. We want to do a clip with we want to blow up a car, or we want to do a clip with water. We want to do an underwater clip. We want to do a clip with rain. We want to do a clip with dead bodies. We want to do like whatever.
Are you working with a producer that helps you arrange these things?
I wish I was, bro. I wish I was. I wish.
This is the only part. I gotta come down to Australia, see you at work, and actually go behind 24 hours with Colin Jeffs. You know, can you imagine?
This is a whole nother like YouTube video.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think so. So stay tuned for that one. 24 hours with Colin Jeffs, man. We're just gonna like follow you around and shit. Hang on,
dude,
let's say that again.
Hang out for a week.
40 music videos.
I'll get you on a week. Some weeks we're shooting like 4 or 5 music videos. I kid you not. Some weeks we'll shoot like 4 music videos in 4 different states, and we'll shoot and then we'll fly.
Say that again. How many music videos in a week? 4 or 5?
The most that I've done is 5 music videos in a week, 5 different states. So 5.
You shot one yesterday.
So we shot one yesterday in New South Wales. So I just flew back from that today, and we're shooting 2. We're shooting 2 next week. Shooting 2 the week after. Every week, bro. Every week. That's all we do.
I just have nothing less than admiration for this ability of output that you have.
I don't recommend it.
We're doing different styles a little bit and stuff like that, and I can see how music videos, where it's mostly relying on location, great camera work and stuff like that, that I like to call it like it's more instant rather than like VFX or 3D, which takes rendering time and so on.
Yeah, it's more run and gun style. Like, you know, it's like a lot of the times we'll probably have like one core location that we've hired, and then we'll build out like a bunch of free stuff that we don't have to pay for around that.
Right.
And,
it's just keeping track of the ideas, your own ideas, the things that you want to do for each music video. You know, like,
dude,
like,
and it's sort of,
it's admirable, man. Yeah.
It's,
anyway, as you're saying, this is for another time.
It's another video.
Yeah,
it's
I think
another video.
so.
But we can talk about it one day. We can talk about it one day for sure.
Yeah, for sure. If you had to leave this planet, this is the question I'm trying to think. If you had to leave this planet, go somewhere else and keep making music videos, which camera setup and lens setup would you pick? Without explaining too much about it, what would you pick?
Okay, I really want a Sony Burano. If you know what that is, if you know, you know. I want a Sony Burano. I want one.
I want two of those.
Right now in the country, they're like $45,000, but I reckon I'm going to be able to sweet talk Sony into get me one significantly cheaper.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I'm working on it.
But, he's working with Sony. You're partnered with Sony and stuff.
That's it. Yeah, we are partnered with Sony. So hopefully I can sweet talk them into get me a nice Christmas present. But yeah, Sony Burano is what I want. I don't even care about the lens setup right now. I just want that big, ugly box in my hands.
Well, that was it. That was a pretty lengthy, very detailed breakdown on how to make a music video like this. I leave all of his links down here in the description, and all of the people involved in this music video. Amazing work by all of them. Drop a like, subscribe, check out these cool music videos and live videos that we have in our channel. And if you want to go see some really old school Vietnamese hip hop, then you can go to the Lambda archive channel and check it out.